Hello, followers. I am running really behind on my great intentions of vlog recording for what I have been up to on this cruise. So, I'm currently recording the first port day on the last day. So, first port day for us was Sitka. So that was the first port we've been to in Alaska. So we embarked, then we had a sea day, then we had Sitka, and then the rest of the days have been port days, and then disembarkation is tomorrow. So, first port day was Sitka. Now, all of these ports we've gotten really quite early in the morning, which is quite unusual for me. Anybody that knows me knows I am not a morning person. I like a lion, so I would say that jet lag has worked in my favor here. um, so I was up quite early in the morning, which was good. So I went and had some breakfast, and then I went out on deck. Now it was quite grey. It was very, very rainy, and I was a little bit worried at how rainy it was, and thought I have not come prepared for this amount of rain. Like if it was going to be like that all week. I will say there was people on like the Facebook groups and things like that before coming on board going on about taking their wellies, taking their waterproof trousers, taking eh, all sorts of polar outdoor gear, and I thought, what on earth? I thought, absolutely no way. Thought, I do not need all of this. So I did not bring waterproof trousers or proper big waterproof shoe like boots or shoes or anything. I thought, oh, it can't be that bad. Like I'm looking at the weather forecast, it was quite similar to home, which for those of you that don't know where I am from, northeast Scotland. So I thought it'll be quite similar to home. I'll be fine. I'll just take a waterproof jacket and whatever else. Which, yeah, it was very, very rainy, and at times I did wish that I had taken better shoes because I had only really brought trainers with me. So, top tip, bring waterproof trainers, walking shoes, something if you're coming at this time of year because it is very wet. But I did take, I will say, temperature wise, this entire week I have really just worn maybe like jeans or gym leggings or something like that. And then on my top half, I've just really worn like a t-shirt and then a fleece and then a water like a lined waterproof, not like a padded insulated one, just like a lined waterproof. I would say layers are quite important, so bring your layers. So back to port day. So breakfast in the buffet, went out on deck, went to look at us sort of approaching into Sitka, and I went to get off the ship. So I had an excursion booked for Sitka, which was to go to the national park. Now that was not until later on in the morning, but because we got in so early, and I'm talking like I can't actually remember exactly what the time was, but some of them are like 6 o'clock, some of them are 7 o'clock, and some of them are actually Sitka later. Maybe it was later. No, Sitka was a little bit later, sorry, because I booked the shuttle. So they put on a complimentary shuttle bus for Sitka, but you need to reserve it. So you get the information on the front of your Freestyle Daily, which is like your little newspaper, and it'll give you a website to go on to. Now, that is not run by NCL, that is run by Sitka Excursions, whoever, like the place, like it's run by Sitka. So you can reserve in 15-minute slots. So I reserved, it was 10:15, that was it. So I had like an hour to go about Sitka before coming back. Now, the first slot was 10 a.m. This is I booked the second slot, so 10 a.m. was the first one. Um, and it was absolutely chaos. It was chaotic. But by chaotic, I mean organized chaos. So it was just really, really busy. So there were so many people trying to get off the ship at once. That so you were getting off on deck four forward, the queues to get out were sort of queued up the stairs until about deck seven. And yeah, it was just busy, busy, busy. However, they did have it organised quite well. There was plenty, there was ropes and barriers and plenty of staff like directing people. So once you were off and over, you were directed into another queue where there was like little gift shops and places for you to like get some food or get some coffee and things like that. Then you could then join the queue for the shuttle. Now the excursion thing, like if you had an organised excursion, it all left from there too. But then you joined the queue for the shuttle, and then you all got piled onto the shuttle bus like as it was going. So it was a bit of a wait, but I would say most of the queue was covered as well. So it did mean that you weren't standing getting absolutely soaked. So yeah, got on the shuttle and then went into Sitka. Now I when you get there, you're dropped off at I can't remember the name of it. It's like a Centennial Hall, or I think it's a Centennial Hall. So it's like a town hall, um, where everyone can go in. There's like a little museum bit, and there's toilets and there's free Wi-Fi as well. So it was really, really busy. Now there was things going on, like local community things going on in some of the rooms as well. So it was interesting actually just seeing this horde of cruise passengers, especially when there was more than one ship in as well. So there was a Viking ship, and then there was a Silver Sea ship docked somewhere else. So there were three ships in Sitka that day. So yeah, there was other like local community things going on as well. So mixing it all together, I was like, oh my god, there's so many people. So you can have a little walk around the back of that, and there's some nice views over some water and things. And then from there, you get maps and things that tell you like where to go. So I really didn't go very far because I only had an hour because I needed to go back to the ship so that I could get my excursion on time. So really, I just went for a bit like a little walk about sort of the main, like the main street area, which is quite aesthetic to look at. But in terms of things to do, there wasn't really a huge amount of things to do. So there was like local vendors who were had like pop up like stalls that you could go and get like local food from. There was a local bar, which is apparently worth going to, but because I was sort of on my own at 10 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't really willing to go into a bar. But I think if you want to go in later on, it's probably worth visiting. And then the rest of it's just kind of like gift shops and Russian Christmas shop and things like that. So it's fine just for a walkabout, but you don't really need a lot of time. I think if it's better weather, you can maybe do some of the walking trails and things like that. But I didn't have the time, and it was also pouring off rain, so I didn't really fancy that. So yeah, just went for a little walkabout, and then when I went to get the shuttle back, no issue at all. It was really quiet to get back. I was just straight on. I think there was maybe four people in front of me in the queue waiting for like the bus to arrive. So yeah, no issue there at all. So I hopped back on the shuttle and then went back to the the port the port bit, and then just had a little look in some of the shops and stuff that were there and took some photos of the ship. And then it was time for the excursion. So excursion was to the Sitka National Park, which was not very far away. It was minutes in a bus, maybe about half an hour ish. I don't even know if it was as much as that. So yeah, so when you get off the ship, there will be NCL representatives holding up signs that will tell you like which excursion, like you're looking for the one that matches your excursion. So you will go and see them, and they'll give you a sticker that'll be like the which essentially which group you're with. So I was a green circle, so like you get your green circle sticker, and then you follow the instructions. So we went back up, got on another bus, and got to the national park, which when we actually got to the national park, it was only about an hour that we had to sort of walk about, which was fine. It was enough time to do one of the trails. But if you wanted longer, then you would need to probably look to get there by yourself. The national park is like they have totem trails, so there's loads of totem poles. So obviously in Alaska, totem poles are a huge thing. So you get like told all about it when you're in your buses, like going to your excursions and things like that. But at the national park, there's amazing views, incredible views across the water, and then you can do the trails and see the nature and things like that, and then see all the totem poles. Yeah, and it's just a nice, pretty laid back way to spend an afternoon. What I would say is that it is a very manageable walk. So I know that some people might struggle with really uneven terrain and things like that. It wasn't particularly hard. Like it was a bit muddy and things, but it was very like it was relatively flat, and it wouldn't have wasn't a difficult one at all. So I would say it's a pretty accessible by foot, um, activities to do. So yeah, pretty good. So yeah, I quite enjoyed that. So after that, went back to the ship. So got back on the bus, and got back to the ship. I then got ready for dinner and just took some time to chill out and things because I was a bit soggy. I will say it did stop raining when I went to go to the national park, so thankfully got to do that bit in a bit nicer weather and get dried off a little bit. And yeah, so back to the ship, got ready for dinner, and then went to the Cavern Club. So Cavern Club is one of the bars, one of the venues within the ship. It was quite nice that the this one is like closed off. It has closed doors, so there's lots of different sort of music activity going on, but this one is like it closes off. And what was on in the Cavern Club that night was like a rock band. So it was one of the resident bands, but it was a rock type show. So went and sat in that for a little while before going to dinner. And I do have a little clip, so I'll put that in here. Then it was dinner time, so food has been a really big focus of this cruise because the food has been really great. I've heard mixed reviews though, so based on some of the conversations I've had with other passengers who typically cruise lines like NCL or like Virgin Voyages, they were saying, "Oh, the food's not. Oh, it's fine, but it's nothing special." But I would say, in comparison to the British cruise lines that I've done, so I've done P&O, I've done Ambassador, and I've done MSC as well. So I've done three P&O, three MSC, and one Ambassador. This squad that had the best food out of all of them. It's been really great. And I quite like the fact that if you have the more at sea package, you get the specialty dining restaurants as well. So because I have a balcony cabin, I think it goes by cabin type. Like if you have a balcony, you get more. If you have, or maybe it was depending on when you booked. I would need to look it up. Don't hold me to this. um, but so I had three specialty dining restaurants in my package. So that night, it's the Sitka night, myself and one of the other solos went to Cagney's, which is a steakhouse. So that was really great. So I had a crab cake for starter, a filet mignon for main, and then a chocolate cake for dessert, which was really, really yummy. Really enjoyed it. But by the end, I was so full of food, and it was only probably about 10 o'clock, and I was knackered. I was just so tired. Um, Definitely struggled a bit with the jet lag this cruise, which has uh, I would say probably the first few nights I was getting a bit annoyed at myself because I really wanted to be able to enjoy a bit more of sort of the evening entertainment that was on offer, a bit more of sort of the party atmosphere and things like that. But I was just exhausted and like practically falling asleep at the dinner table. I was like, I cannot, like, I need to go to my bed. So ended up just going to bed at like 10 o'clock after dinner, because again early mornings the next morning, so trying to get some sleep in. But yeah, all in all, Sitka was a lovely day, and it was very, very wet. So my one takeaway and my one sort of piece of advice for anybody who might be coming to Alaska on a future cruise is to bring appropriate clothing and footwear, which in the next vlog you will learn probably a little bit more about why I'm saying this. Because Sitka was rain, a whole other story. So didn't ruin my experience at all. It just made me laugh about it. It was just funny at the end of the day. But yeah, absolutely recommend that you bring good sort of waterproof trainers or walking shoes, trousers that aren't going to be really heavy if they get wet, or waterproof trousers if you want to bring them, and a good waterproof jacket, to make sure that you stay nice and dry and toasty, and you don't get soggy socks like me. So yeah, there's my Sitka vlog. I'll need to trim this down so that it's not longer than 15 minutes, and I'll get some pictures and videos and things put in. But I hope that you have enjoyed a little insight into my first port day in Alaska.